Hey everyone, John Hageman here with the Walgrave Real Estate team doing another recap of the Minnesota Home Talk Live show. Every Saturday we've got Mike Overson with Leader One Financial and Jason Walgrave answering your questions about the real estate market in the Twin Cities. First off, I want to say thank you to all of our essential workers. From our nurses and doctors to our grocery store workers and garbage men, thank you. We in the real estate industry are fortunate to be considered an essential business during these times. We recognize this privilege and continue to work during these uncertain times with a manner that's as safe as possible. Remote showings, Zoom meetings, face masks, and necessary social distancing have all become standard practice for us. I know that many of you have questions about what's going on with the real estate market and how things have been changing. Looking at the sales data and listing data from March, we were set to outpace last year's March's numbers. We had more listings than last March, more pending sales, median price was up over 7.7%, and days on the market were down. This pointed all signs to a continued strong activity throughout the spring and carrying us into summer. The thing I want you to keep in mind though is with these 35 closed transactions we had in March, the activity for these deals happened in January and February. Since it usually takes 45 days to close a deal, much of the activity on these happened before the virus hit the States. We don't have full data yet for April, but we can compare the weekly data from the third week of April this year to last year's. And what that data is showing is what many would expect nowadays. New listings are down close to 27% year over year. Pending sales are down 13%, and inventory is 8% off of last year's numbers. What's buoying a lot of the market now are two things. The first is continued low inventory. For every 2 buyers, there's only 3 homes on the market for them. And the second is mortgage rates. They're down to about 3%, which makes housing even more affordable than last year. The first question we had on the show asked how negotiations have been impacting buyers and sellers, and how has that changed in light of the coronavirus. We're seeing the impact of the virus in all aspects of the transaction. New COVID addenda and amendments have been added to our files. Many sellers are having their home on the market but not allowing showings for personal safety reasons. It may sound counterintuitive, but we're seeing homes put under contract sight unseen and in multiple offers and many times. Additionally, longer inspection periods are being asked for. On the mortgage side, lenders are looking at different scenarios for each client and having a plan A, B, and C if necessary. An easy example of this is seeing if a couple could qualify with just one income in case there's any type of disruption in their employment. The next question was regarding a contract for deed. If you aren't familiar with contract for deed, it's when the seller of the property finances the sale of the property rather than going through a mortgage. The question was if the buyer wants to sell while still under that contract for deed, how does that work? Most buyers will sell on the open market just like any other sale. If the new buyer wants to buy the same home under a contract for deed as well, he may be able to assume the original financing, but that would be between all 3 parties. Lastly, we touched on just a few ways to help save money and get that money together for your down payment. The first is to pay off your credit cards, full stop. This will not only impact your debt-to-income ratio, which lenders look to when getting pre-qualified, but it will also benefit your credit score tremendously. Ideally, you want to have around 0 to about 3% of your balance on your credit cards at most. The second way was to set up an auto transfer from your direct deposit. Each pay period, put away as much as you can. Number 3 was to take advantage of special programs like VA 0% down loans and down payment assistance programs. Number 4 was to tap into your IRA. If you qualify for a first-time home buyer, you can withdraw up to $10,000 from your IRA to use towards your down payment penalty-free. Lastly, 5 was to seek out some gift funds from anybody generous that you know. If you have any questions, reach out to us at the Walgrave Real Estate Group. I hope you're all doing well and wish you health and calm during these uncertain times. Thanks so much and take care.